By the 2018 Honda Civic Type R, like no Honda you've ever seen.
It is a very hot weekend in Toronto on this Canada Day weekend. And the roof is closed, trying to keep it as comfortable as possible. It's 35 degrees outside, but it's a very comfortable atmosphere inside with the roof closed. And Sam Gaviglio is set to take on Ron Gardenhire and his Detroit Tigers. Gardenhire is in his first season at the helm of the Detroit Tigers after spending a long time as the skipper of the Minnesota Twins. Take a look at the lineup. This team has really gone through a hard time. They've lost 10 straight. They haven't hit much, but one tough out in their lineup is Nick Castellanos, the right fielder. Over his last 6 games, hitting nearly 400, hitting .307 for the season. And then down in the 8th spot, Jose Iglesias has hit well against the Blue Jays this season. He is 5 for 13 with a couple of doubles, and he scored a pair of runs. Plus, he brings a terrific glove at shortstop.
They will face Sam Gaviglio as Sam gets ready for his 8th start of the season. He came out of the gates in his last start on fire against the Angels, retiring the first 11 batters he faced, including 4 strikeouts in a row before a home run by Justin Upton ended all that. And then he just couldn't get out of the 5th inning. First pitch strikes in that game, always very important for Sam Gaviglio. He's 14 for 18 in that game.
So Gaviglio will make his 2nd career start against the Tigers. He started last year as a member of the Seattle Mariners. Leonys Martin, the leadoff batter, he is ready, and Gaviglio goes into the windup. Here's the first pitch of the game. It is hit in the air to center field. Kevin Pillar was shaded in that direction. 1 pitch, 1 out for Gaviglio. Take a look at the defense for the Blue Jays. Terrific outfield defense with Hernandez, Pillar, and Grichuk. And boy, what a pleasant surprise Solarte has been, especially at third.
Yeah, we got to highlight him in the opening about the offense that he has done, but defensively he's been outstanding. 47 start at third base this afternoon, just 2 errors. Both of them at third base, a .983 fielding percentage. He's really taken advantage of the opportunities he's been given to play, and he's really come through.
Nick Castellanos takes the first pitch strike. Solarte has just 2 errors, as you mentioned, over at third base. He's been a real consistent fielder. Castellanos took an 0-4 in last night's game and bounces this ball right to Devin Travis. 2 quick outs for Gaviglio here this afternoon.
Well, when that sinker is working, you're going to get your share of ground ball out, so that infield is going to be very important. When he is on, in that last start against Los Angeles, he couldn't pitch any better the first 4 innings of the game. Fastball was down, ball was moving all over the place. They made some great plays behind him. I like how he gets out there and he just gets the ball and throws it. Doesn't mess around, just pound that strike zone down.
Jeimer Candelario was hitting 2nd in the lineup last night. He's dropped down into the 3rd spot against the righty. There's a curveball for a strike. Candelario thought it might have been up a bit.
Yeah, you have to throw him off-speed pitches, especially early in the count. He hit the home run yesterday on the first pitch. He's got 12 for the season, 4 of them on the first pitch. So no surprise they throw him a breaking ball.
And Gaviglio throws a very good changeup. It's quickly 0-2 to the third baseman. There's his last start against the Tigers, June 19th of 2017. He started against Anibal Sanchez, and there's a check swing foul in that ball game. He walked 4, and he left the ball game after 5 innings, and it was a 2-2 score at that point. Fastball inside.
Don't you just love that? A lot of soft stuff away, and then you try and surprise him with that fastball. He had him struck out if he could have controlled that inside fastball.
He bounces that changeup in the dirt. So now it's 2-2.
It's an interesting changeup that he throws. It's not your typical type of changeup where you push the ball back in the palm of your hand or a 3-finger changeup. He actually splits his index finger and his middle finger just to take a little something off of that pitch. Try to make it go down just a little bit. There's the grip that he's holding there as he puts it, sets it into his glove.
Upstairs now, it's a full count. What's the benefit of setting that pitch in his glove?
Well, you don't change it. Change the grip. It's easier to change from the split grip to your fastball grip. If you have to switch to it, guys start digging into there, and it gives away that you're throwing the splitter.
Gaviglio walks Candelario after getting ahead of him. So a 2-out walk issued here in the top half of the first inning. So that'll bring Victor Martinez to the plate. Martinez last night had a pair of singles. He was 2 for 4. And for his career, he's 1 hit shy of 2,100 hits. Playing in his 75th game of the season.
Just an outstanding hitter. Has just a few more strikeouts than walks this season. Doesn't strike out a whole lot. Puts the bat on the ball. Those 2 hits last night, his 17th multi-hit game of the season.
Victor Martinez is 8th on the active hit leaderboard. Adrian Beltre, he leads it with 3,105. There's the shift as they defend against Martinez on the infield. All of a sudden, Gaviglio having a little trouble finding the strike zone. It's a ball on the strike to Martinez.
One of the toughest in baseball to strike out. He's going to put the ball in play somewhere.
Here's the 1-1 pitch to Martinez.
Good pitch.
Misses down low.
I'd rather you miss down low than up high with that breaking ball.
Bit of a struggle for Victor over his last 10 games, but for his career, he brings a .296 batting average into this ballgame. His 16th season in the big league.
Yeah, he's been around a long time. Been doing it a long time.
Gaviglio gets him to chase that outside pitch. It's 2-2 now. Candelario at first with 2 outs. There he goes. He's moving. Pitch inside. Throw from Maley is a good one. In time. So they roll the dice. They start the runner on a 2-2 pitch, and Luke Maley guns down his 8th base stealer of the season. He's been throwing the ball well all season long. He nails Candelario. Strong throw. Quick tag by Solarte, who was in the shift. Down Jamer Candelario to end the top of the first. Let's take a look at the Blue Jays in the lineup. They were winners last night, 3-2. And you look at Justin Smoke, he has put up big numbers against the Tigers this season, 5 for 13. Hit a 2-run home run in the fourth. The Blue Jays scored all 3 runs in that fourth inning. How about the shortstop? Aledmus Diaz over his last 9 games, hitting nearly 380 with a double, a home run, and 4 ribbies. He's swinging the bat well. His average up to 245.
And the Blue Jays get a former teammate at Matthew Boyd with the start today. He's 4-6 with a 4.15 earned run average. 16th start of the season. He has pitched against the Blue Jays now. This is his 5th time against Toronto. He's trying to build on something that started last year at the end of the year. It's the pitcher of the month in September of last year with an ERA sub 3. Hasn't been able to pull it together so far this season. He got a chance today against his former team, the Blue Jays.
Boyd actually got out to a decent start to the season. He pitched 6 or more innings in his first 3 starts, and lately it's been a little bit of a struggle for him.
Yeah, his last 2 starts, not real good. Last time out against the Indians, 3 innings, 8 hits, 6 earned runs. He's going to have to control that fastball.
Brando Grichuk. It's a 1-hopper to Iglesias, and nice play by the shortstop. The outfield for the Tigers has 18 outfield assists, and the right fielder, he had an assist last night in the ball game.
And he's a good one. It was here in Toronto last September when Nick Castellanos officially moved from third base to right field. And he has really done a good job out there. He also played a couple of years in the minor leagues in the outfield, 5 outfield assists now. That's the 6th highest total in the American League.
Boyd delivers a strike to Teoscar Hernandez. Teoscar batting .260 for the season. He fouls it off, that inside fastball. Hernandez is 1 for 3 in the game last night. He walked and struck out. Last 10 games, 11 for 42 with a pair of doubles and 2 home runs.
When he's hitting pitches within the strike zone, he's going to hit them hard and he's going to hit them far.
Well, there's a good breaking ball for the strikeout. Boyd strikes out Hernandez on a good curve.
Yeah, he's got a fastball, he's got a slider, and an occasional curveball that he takes a lot off, and you're going to have to read it out of his hand quickly. There's the spin, and this is designed to go down and off the plate. Hopefully you get a swing and miss. Hopefully you get some expansion of the strike zone by Teoscar.
Here is Yannivis Solarte. He homered against Boyd back on June 2nd. Luke Maile also hit a home run against Boyd. Maile hit a go-ahead home run, and then Solarte added to that lead. Boy, that's a good fastball.
One other thing they've done with Boyd is they've speeded him up just a little bit this season. It felt like he was taking a lot of time in between his pitches last year. They've tried to speed him up and make him work just a little bit quicker.
Fastball upstairs. Again, 93 with the fastball. That's a tick up from what he has been throwing lately.
Yeah, he's been averaging around 90 miles an hour, which if you're not hitting your spots, that's a hittable fastball. Last year, it was clocked at 95.
Curveball, he reached for it, and it's a fly ball to right. Castellanos on the run. He'll make the play. Just 9 pitches required by Matt Boyd to retire the side in order.
had been placed on the 10-day DL with right elbow inflammation. Right-hander Jake Petrichka has been recalled from AAA Buffalo. Now, the last time we saw Tepera on a mound, he gave up the game-winning home run to the Astros' Alex Bregman in the bottom of the 9th inning in Houston. Tepera said he first experienced discomfort in that inner elbow back in Anaheim. As bullpen guys, you feel a little soreness now and then, he tells me, but the next day it didn't recover the right way, so he received treatment. Now, when he got to Houston, he continued with the treatments. He didn't pitch the first 2 games of the series. Then after that Astros walk-off home run, the elbow was still not okay. That's when the discussion was had to place him on the DL. Buck manager John Gibbons said in the interim he's going to go with closer by committee.
Well, he's got Clippard, he's got O. They can both close. Axford has closed in the past, so he's got some options. I'm sure John Gibbons will think about the matchup and where they're at in a ball game. So Victor Martinez was at the plate when Candelario was caught stealing. That ended the top half of the first inning. Ground ball, Solarte playing in the shift. The third baseman will throw to Smoke. One away.
The Tigers have had their problems scoring runs. And it used to be a team that was built on more home runs. They got 65 home runs if he was to baseball. So now Ron Gardenhire is going to have to figure out how he can score runs. And starting Jeimer Candelario is part of it. You got to start the runner and try and get guys into scoring position for your better hitters. I think he was just guessing that they were going to throw him a split finger. They threw him a fastball and he was out.
Nico Goodrum. He takes a strike. Goodrum making his 50th start of the season, and he is a super utility player. First year with the Tigers. Ground ball. Smoke takes a tricky hop. He'll flip to Gavilio, and 2 ground ball outs here in the second. Well, Pat, you talk about the Tigers' struggles offensively. They've lost 10 straight games. They have been outscored by 38 runs. And they have scored first 5 times during the stretch, but you can see they've been out homered 18-5, and they just don't have any pop in their lineup.
Yeah, not like they used to back in the days, and especially you're missing your best hitter in Miguel Cabrera, kind of a guy who makes everybody better around him. He's out of the lineup, so they're going to have to, as Tigers, scratch and claw to try and get runs.
Foul ball off the mask of Luke Maile. This is John Hicks, the first baseman. Hicks had a extended 0 for. He was 0 for 14 when he picked up a single on June 22nd at Cleveland during this 10-game losing streak. He's batting .284 for the season. He's a catcher first baseman. And since Cabrera has been injured and out of the lineup, Hicks has gotten a lot of playing time at first. They have 3 catchers on their roster: James McCann, Grayson Griner, and John Hicks. Gavilio is ahead 0-2. I don't blame you for throwing that slider after he chased the previous one. Bragging rights are at stake here today. These 2 starters have been teammates in college. They both played at Oregon State.
So I'm sure they were watching the College World Series intently and watching it hard as their alma mater won it all.
Yeah, they were teammates 2010, 2011. Boyd is from Washington. Gavilio is from Oregon. Pretty good pitch. He didn't get the call.
Not a bad idea. That comeback 2-seam fastball off the edge of the plate.
Breaking ball hit high and deep to left field, and this ball's going to go. John Hicks. It's a hanging slider for his 7th home run of the season, and the Tigers jump out on top. We had mentioned they have had the lead 5 times in this 10-game losing streak. They have the lead this afternoon
and gave it up each time. And Home runs, they haven't hit a lot of them, but when you make mistakes, remember the second strike that he threw that slider down and away, and Hicks had no chance about it. This is a hanger right here. It just spins out over the plate, and I think both Luke Mele and Sam Gaviglio knew that that one was not coming back.
Yeah, as a catcher, when you see this breaking ball hanging out over the plate, you have a tendency to want to call time. It's a hanger, and Hicks delivers his 7th home run of the season. He's driven in 26 runs, and the Tigers have a 1-0 lead. This is Grayson Griner. Hicks getting the opportunity to play more regularly with Cabrera out, and he's making good use of it.
Hitters' eyes light up when they see 3-2 sliders like that. I'm sure catchers' eyes light up too.
Oh yeah, not that way. You say no, no, no. Good fastball, and Griner is called out on strikes. Gaviglio gives up a 3-2 home run on a hanging slider to the first baseman John Hicks. Just the 66th home run the Tigers have hit this season, but it gives them a 1-0 lead.
Remove. Hockey Central signing season presented by Molson Canadian tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific time, right here on Sportsnet. Buck.
Thank you very much, Hazel. There promises to be a lot of wheeling and dealing as that signing period begins, so make sure you check that out. Kendrys Morales will lead things off for the Blue Jays here in Lusaka. They trail 1-0. Morales has had a lot of success against Matt Boyd. He's 9 for 15.
With a home run and 7 RBIs, so whatever he's featuring, he likes what he sees. Kendrys has been on a nice little tear lately, hitting everything that he sees and hitting it with authority.
Was that off-speed pitch foul?
For the month of June, today's the last month of June, the last day, 4 home runs, 9 RBIs. He's also hit a shade under 300 this month.
Curveball. Morales chases and strikes out. Second strikeout of the ball game for Matt Boyd. Both those strikeouts coming on that good curveball.
Yeah, put that in your memory banks, right-handed batters, and say, okay, 2 strikes. He's going with that slow curveball out of the strike zone. Fastball, slider, slow curve. Second strikeout of the afternoon. First out here in the second. Kendrys sees it. He comes up empty.
Justin Smoke hits it high and deep to center field, but it's going to stay in the ballpark. Matt Boyd turning to his catcher to ask where that pitch was, because Smoke just missed hitting another home run.
Yeah, right down the middle. He hit a home run last night against the Tigers. The previous home run before last night was against the Tigers, and he almost got another one. But that one hung up there just a little bit too long.
So 2 quick outs here for Matt Boyd. Kevin Pillar hit a home run against Boyd last year in the top of the 5th in a 0-0 ball game. Was in Detroit on June 7th. Popped up over near the seats. Hicks is there, and it'll be a quick inning for Matt Boyd. His team gives him a run, and he has a 6-pitch inning. We'll go to the 3rd. The Tigers lead it 1-0 early.
Fans tomorrow will receive a Blue Jays red hat. Fans are encouraged to get to the ballpark early to take part in our pregame festivities. Great seats are still available, so get right to it. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Good-looking hat. You can pick it up on Canada Day tomorrow, so make sure you come out early. Sam Gaviglio gave up a 2-out home run to John Hicks. The Tigers lead at 1-0. So it's 8-9-1 for Detroit here in the 3rd. Jose Iglesias, he's a tough guy to strike out. He's averaging almost 10 plate appearances per strikeout this season, and he bounces that one foul. Iglesias has hit safely in 25 of his last 32 games, and over his last 10 games hitting .333.
He's in the top 10 in the the highest contact rate, where he put the bat on the ball and he's going to get himself a base hit.
Bounces it right over the mound into center field, leadoff single for the Tigers.
No way to defend him when he hits the ball all over the place and makes contact. Only Nick Markakis had a higher contact rate in all of baseball, so he's going to put the ball in play, just don't know where he's going to hit it. This time right back through the middle, on the ground.
Literally right over the pitching rubber into center field. Iglesias set a career high this season with his 12th stolen base. That happened in Cincinnati on the 19th this month. Jacoby Jones bunts it right out in front of home. Maile gets to it quickly in time. Good bunt by Jones. He may have been bunting for a base hit, but he will be credited with the sacrifice as Iglesias moves up to second base. You mentioned the Tigers have had a tough time scoring runs, so they're going to take advantage of any base runners they get.
Anyway, and if you do that on your own, there's no problem with that. You try to bunt for a base hit, and if you're successful, you got first and second, nobody out, the top of the lineup coming around. If you're not successful, you got a guy in scoring position.
That's just the 6th sacrifice bunt of the year for the Tigers. First for Jones. Turns the lineup over. Here's the leadoff man. Jimenez Martin hit the first pitch he saw and flied out to center field.
You mentioned the Tigers have had a tough time over their last 10 games, and part of the reason why they just haven't been able to score any runs. Averaging just 2 runs a game. That is tough to win any time. I don't care who's pitching. 2 runs a game, that's not a lot to work with.
Ron Gardenhire knows that when you lose a big hitter like Guerrero for the season, that's going to have an impact on your entire ball club. And he's out for the season, having ruptured a biceps tendon. Gaviglio ahead. 0-2 to Martin. Comes right at him and strikes him out. The high fastball gets Martin.
You like to see that. 0-2 come right after him with that good fastball to pick up your second strikeout. The Super Slow-Mo is brought to you by the Samsung S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now. You can see Martin just can't catch up to that. It looked like he was surprised a little bit that he attacked him with that fastball.
Good job by Maley to elevate that heater. Calls for the high fastball and gets the strikeout. Nick Castellanos grounded out to second base, his only time up. Drives this one out of the ballpark. A no-doubter on the first pitch for Castellanos. His 12th home run of the season. And the Tigers have a 3-0 lead.
He has been on fire lately, and with first base open, I was surprised that they went after him. I know it's only the 3rd inning, but he's their best hitter. Had a chance to talk to Lloyd McClendon, and I asked him, I said, are they pitching around Castellanos because he's really a threat for you offensively? He says, you know, he'll take his walks when he needs to. There was a time earlier this year he was swinging at a lot of pitches. Now he's taking his walks, but that one is right down the middle. He's not taking that one.
107 miles an hour off the bat. He barreled it up and hit it out. So he now has 49 RBIs for the season. Oh, he's got a good swing. He has really turned into a heck of a hitter. One of the best hitters in the league. He's a hard worker, always trying to improve, and obviously when you're around Miguel Cabrera, you can have some great conversations about the art of hitting.
And his approach, Cabrera's approach, has rubbed off on Nick Castellanos. Castellanos got the head out on that one.
Lloyd McClendon, longtime hitting coach, former manager. Ground ball. Candelario grounds out. That'll end the inning, but the Tigers on the strength of 2 home runs. One by Hicks, a 2-run home run by Castellanos, and they have taken a 3-0 lead. Castellanos hitting this first pitch out of the ballpark. really played well over their last 10 home games, winning 9 of those last 10.
Well, they're scoring more runs. Before that, they were averaging about 2.5 runs a game, their first 11 games. Over their last 10, 5.5 runs, and they're hitting .316 as a team. They've also hit 19 home runs over their last 10 games. That's the third most in the major leagues. Things look better when you hit the long ball. Makes the managers look really good.
Here is the catcher, Luke Maile. We mentioned Maile hit a home run off of Boyd back on the 2nd of June. That broke a 2-2 tie in the top of the 5th. Changeup missed down and away. Boyd has surrendered 6 home runs against the Blue Jays in his career, including a 3-homer game on August 28th, 2015. But the guys that homered against him in that game are no longer here, at least not right now. Tulowitzki and JD both hit home runs, and Jose Bautista hit the 3rd. So Maile draws a leadoff walk. The Pitch Tracker is brought to you by Coors Light. Coors Light MLB cans available now, featuring the Blue Jays, Red Sox, Yankees, Cubs, Mariners, and Expos. Pretty good lineup there. Aledmus Diaz drills it high and deep to center, but that's going to stay in the ballpark. Maile reacted too late. He went back to tag. I don't think he could have moved up had he gone initially to tag up, but Diaz flies out to Martinez in center.
You knew that first pitch fastball was coming after 4 wide ones to Luke Maile, and Diaz is a good fastball hitter. He threw one right there for him, and Ledmus just missed it.
So with Maile at first and 1 out, Devin Travis will step in the box. Travis takes a pitch inside. Devin 0 for 3 in the game last night. Average of .218 for the season.
He's got a nice hole on the right side of the infield to shoot for if they keep fading that changeup away.
Yeah, it's really interesting. If you set up your defense in this fashion and then pitch the hitter away, it makes no sense to me. So now Goodrum took a step or two to his left, maybe reacting to the pitch selection.
Yeah, down and away. Fastballs away, changeups away. I think this plays right into the strengths of Devin Travis. They were listening. They're coming inside.
Broken bat, soft liner. Iglesias makes the catch. That fastball got inside on Travis. So after the leadoff walk to Maile, Diaz flies out, Travis lines out, and Randall Grichuk will come to the plate. Grichuk still hitting just .209, but boy, he's had a good month in June. He's got the 3rd best slugging percentage in the American League for the month of June. Since June 3rd, he has slugged .671. Only Nelson Cruz and Alec Bregman have a higher slugging percentage than Grichuk since the 3rd of June.
That's helped by the 6 doubles he's hit, the 7 home runs that he has hit. There's the numbers right there in those last 22 games. I like him in the leadoff spot. I like him because he can hit the long ball for you. He might not hit for a high average or have a high on base percentage. That'll come.
Chases that low off-speed pitch, and they throw to first to complete the strikeout. So the leadoff walk, not an issue. Matt Boyd has stranded 1 base runner so far.
Rivera said he was really impressed with his glove work in the series with the Astros. He didn't know what to expect from Diaz because he didn't see a whole lot of him in the National League. But Rivera said Diaz watches the catcher's signs to the pitcher, uses that information to then position himself. Rivera will occasionally help him out in that department, but for the most part, Diaz is very good at anticipating where that baseball is going to be hit. According to Diaz, and with the help of interpreter Josue Pelebuck, being able to be in the proper position is sometimes more important than knowing your reach and your range on a baseball field in order to make some pretty good plays out there.
Yeah, he has been a very pleasant surprise defensively for the ball club. The report we had coming out of St. Louis was he had some power. He had 17 home runs as a rookie, but his defense wasn't that consistent. He's been nothing but consistent.
We caught him the other day. I think it was in Houston, moving before the pitch. I mean, anticipating where the pitch was. And I asked Louis, I said, did that come from the bench? Did you have to remind him? And he said, no, he did that on his own. He does a good job of paying attention and watching what the catcher's throwing, who the hitter is, to help him get a good jump on the balls on the ground. I said, would the word steady describe him? He says that's a perfect word for Aledmus. Steady fielder. When he gets to it, it's an out. I tell you, Louis really watches all of his infielders.
Another good pitch, but it's a ball. 1-1 to Victor Martinez, who grounded out after a lengthy at bat in the second. Reaches for this one, and it's a lazy fly ball to left field. One away.
The diverse Civic family, our most powerful lineup yet. Honda, proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
The roof is closed here in Toronto as it's 35 degrees outside. A very comfortable setting inside with the roof closed. Nico Goodrum. He was with the Minnesota Twins for a long time in the minor leagues, and the manager, Ron Gardenhire, used to see him when he would come over in spring training and serve as a backup player. And Gardenhire told me this afternoon, each time we saw him, he was impressive. And all of a sudden, you start to pay a little more attention to him, and we had a chance to pick him up here in Detroit, and we jumped on him. As we mentioned, he's making his 50th start of the season here this afternoon. His 16th start at second. He's made 8 starts at third base, 5 at short, 6 in left, 5 in right, and 10 at first base.
That happens more than you think in baseball, doesn't it? If a manager changes jobs, players change with them. How about GMs? When GMs change jobs, they start bringing guys that they had in other organizations with them. That happens more than you think.
Dave Dombrowski had David Price in Detroit and then traded for him in Boston. Signed him as a free agent. Goodrum hits one high in the air, but it's going to be a routine out for Kevin Pillar. Goodrum flies out to center field. So John Hicks will face Gaviglio with 2 outs. Same situation back in the second inning. He came up with 2 outs and nobody on and hit a home run on a 3-2 slider.
He threw him a slider early in that count and he swung through it. Hicks will chase. He'll chase pitches off the plate if you throw it there, but if you make mistakes, he can burn you.
Downstairs, it's 2-0 to Hicks. Hicks is now 28 years old. The home run he hit, his 7th of the season, establishes a new career high. He also had 6 home runs last year for Detroit. He already had set a career high in RBIs. Coming into this game, he had 25. 3-0 Detroit. All their runs scoring on home runs this afternoon. A 4-pitch walk, second walk issued by Gaviglio. Grayson Griner, the catcher, was called out on strikes back in the second. That ended the second. Griner was a third-round draft pick of the Tigers in 2014. This is his first opportunity in the big leagues this season. There's a breaking ball for a strike. Griner's playing in his 14th big league game. This year at AAA Toledo, he hit .269. Ground ball. Diaz flips to Travis, and that ends the inning. 2-out walk, no damage for Gaviglio. Blue Jays trail 3-0. Couple of the Blue Jays that have had solid first halves to their season. This is game number 82 as the Blue Jays start the second half.
Yeah, Teoscar with his 13 home runs. Remember, he hit 8 of them last September for the Blue Jays. He's picked up where he left off. He didn't start the season with the team. He got called up in April, and Solarte, what a pickup he's been. Taking advantage of all the injuries that the Blue Jays have had in the infield, and Jay Happ, I guess if the season, the first half ended right now, he'd go to the All-Star game with those 10 wins. And of course, Vlad Jr., Guerrero, who should be getting close to coming back from the knee problems that he has had.
Yeah, I believe Guerrero last played on June 8th.
They said he is taking BP right now, and he has started a running program in the minor leagues. So maybe a week away. We'll see.
His first half numbers are impressive. He hit .407, and that leads the Eastern League in batting average, of course, 400 you would think. But more importantly, Bo Bichette has 88 hits. That leads the Eastern League. Jonathan Davis, his teammate, has 87 hits, and Vlad Guerrero has 83 hits. They're 1, 2, and 3 in the Eastern League in hits.
Wow.
Bo Bichette has really come on. He's got 24 stolen bases. He's 24 for 30. That leads the league in stolen bases. And Jonathan Davis has 19 stolen bases. He's only been caught twice. That's something the Blue Jays sorely need. Speed. They don't have any speed, and without speed you can't manufacture runs, but speed helps you offensively and defensively.
And defensively out in the field, covering ground. Wow, he can't believe that one. Looked like a changeup. That was fading down and away, and Teoscar has to step out of the batter's box and take a deep breath.
And he strikes out. Didn't like that called second strike, and swings and strikes out for a second time.
Yeah, that's the difference between a 3-1 count and a 2-2 count. You can get anything 2-2, and he gets another slider. This one stayed over the middle of the plate. So a little frustrated on the call, and a little frustrated missing that pitch, because that was a very hittable 2-strike pitch.
Yeah, that was right out over the plate. Here is Solarte. We mentioned his great start to his season, his first year with the Blue Jays. 15 homers, 45 RBIs. Flying out to right field, his first time up. I like the tempo Boyd has implemented here this afternoon, working very quickly.
Throw a few more fastballs also. Talking to some of the Tiger people, they were saying he was getting slider happy earlier this year.
3-0 now. Yeah, I don't care how good your breaking ball is. If you throw too many of them and then you make a mistake with one, it's going to get hit. It's going to get hit hard.
And if you throw a lot of breaking balls, a lot of sliders, what can that do to your fastball?
Make you lose velocity.
Lose velocity and lose feel for your fastball. Pitcher's #1 pitch should be that 4-seam fastball. You got to be able to control it and throw it where you need to.
1 out, walk to Solarte. Now Kendrys Morales. Morales has struck out on a curveball. That was in the second. Boyd has 4 strikeouts. He's walked 2 batters. Blue Jays looking for their first hit. A little slider inside. Mention great numbers for Morales facing Matt Boyd. Brian Dozier has the most hits against Boyd. He has 13 hits. Then Jose Abreu has 10. Tim Anderson, Avisail, Garcia, and Morales all have 9 base hits against Boyd. But Morales is now 9 for 16.
Those other guys see Matt Boyd a lot more than the Blue Jays. Pitching within the division.
Brian Dozier has hit the most home runs off of Matt Boyd. He has 3 career home runs off Boyd. Fouled up. Matt Boyd made 2 starts for the Blue Jays before the trade to Detroit. He was part of the package of 3 left-handed pitchers that went to Detroit in exchange for David Price, July 30th of 2015. His first start against Texas, he gave up 3 home runs. And that wasn't bad enough, but his second start against Boston, he didn't get an out. Morales is called out on strikes, the inside fastball. Gets Morales, that's 5 strikeouts for Boyd.
Check out the Beauty Tone Paint event on now through July 3rd, only at Home Hardware. Here's how.
Canada Day weekend, and the Rogers Center all decked out to acknowledge Canada Day. That'll be tomorrow, 3rd game of a 4-game series against the Tigers. Justin Smoke find out the deep center field in the second. We mentioned Matt Boyd in his second start with the Blue Jays, his second and final start. He faced the Boston Red Sox here at Rogers Center. He didn't get an out. 6 hits, 7 earned runs. Back-to-back home runs. David Ortiz hit a 3-run home run, and then Hanley Ramirez right behind him hit a solo shot. but it was Betts a single, Holt a single, Bogarts an RBI single, Ortiz homer, Ramirez homer, Sandoval single, and Napoli walk. He didn't get an out.
And then he was traded.
Daniel Norris, Jairo Laborde, and Matt Boyd went to Detroit. 3 left-handed pitchers in exchange for David Price. 3 balls and a strike to Smoke. They popped it up. Out in front of home plate. Hicks, the first baseman, makes the catch. 4 in the books here at Rogers Center. 3-0 Detroit. Now time for Blue Jays Central Updaters. Jamie Campbell with Joe Siddle in the Samsung broadcast studio.
Forgiving, unforgettable. The Tour de France, July 7th to the 29th on Sportsnet 1.
Thank you very much, Hazel. And it's always a great event, and obviously one that you can watch over several days. Jose Iglesias had a leadoff single and scored on the Castellanos home run in the 3rd. Home runs had not been a problem for Sam Gaviglio recently. He's given up 2 home runs in his last 4 starts. Little chopper back toward the mound, and Gaviglio flips to smoke one away. We mentioned his home run problems early on, but the last few starts, things haven't really gone all that well for him.
Yeah, his ERA in his first 4 starts, outstanding. That was Oakland, at Philly, at Boston, and then the Yankees. That gem against the Yankees, 7 shutout innings where he just gave up 3 hits. Then at Tampa, Washington, and LA. Each one of those last 2, he started off on fire.
Diaz from his knees makes a heck of a play just in time. Well, we talked about Aledmys Diaz and how well he has played defensively, and there's another great example of that. Jacoby Jones has great speed. That's why Diaz was so quick to unload.
Jones snapped an 0 for 14 with an infield hit yesterday. But a great play right there. They're not even going to want to look at this one. You can tell he is out. If he gets to it, he can record the out. And the thing, Buck, that has impressed me with Diaz defensively is his arm strength. How quickly he gets rid of that and how much carry he gets on the ball. Pitchers love that. When you work quickly, you throw strikes, you get outs, your defense, they're going to make plays behind you.
Everybody is on their toes anticipating a ball being put into play. So Diaz gets another red star in the scorebook. Second out of the inning, back to the top of the order. Leonis Martin with a ball and a strike. He's 0 for 2 so far.
Here's a good pitch back to Gaviglio. That last start, he cruised through those 4 innings and then gave up a home run to Justin Upton. Got out of that inning and then couldn't survive the 5th. Just got a couple of outs in the 5th inning.
Retired the first 11 Angels he faced in that ball game. Good bounce back inning for Gaviglio. 3 up, 3 down with the strikeout. Took him just 7 pitches to dispatch the Tigers in the top of the 5th. Got some great help by his shortstop. Aledmus Diaz takes a hit away from Jacoby Jones. Up the middle, he dives, gloves, and fires the first in time.
Lineup. However, he could be called upon to pinch hit later in the game. Now, I asked Granderson how he stays engaged with what's happening on the field. He told me he always looks ahead to the pitching probables for upcoming series to mentally prepare himself even before he gets here. But during the game, you'll find him in the dugout cheering on his teammates, providing any information he can for his teammates based on what he's seeing on the bench. Then at about the 4th or 5th inning, he'll check the game situation, then go into the tunnel, start hitting off the tee, stretch, and get himself mentally prepared, Buck, for possibly entering the ball game. They say pinch hitting is one of the hardest things to do in baseball, and Granderson has had success this season in that role. In 16 games as a pinch hitter with the Jays, Granderson has a .286 average, a .375 OBP with 2 runs batted in.
Kevin Pillar takes a first pitch strike. Granderson's been a terrific addition to this ball club. Curtis, of course, began his career with the Tigers. Granderson is one of 3 players still active in the game from the 2006 World Series team with the Tigers. He is the only position player still playing. The other 2, Justin Verlander and Fernando Rodney. Pillar hits it high and deep down the left field line. That is a fair ball, and it bounces into the seats for another double. Kevin Pillar picks up another double, a leadoff double.
Blue Jays get their first hit off of Matthew Boyd. It wasn't hit that hard, maybe a little bit more towards the end of the bat for Pillar. It's a breaking ball. He waits, but he doesn't wait enough. He hits it off the end of the bat, but he's going to secure the ball down the left field line. A nice play by Jones. A good effort, but no chance to catch that. Blue Jays have a nice start in the bottom of the 5th inning, a leadoff double.
He is tied now with Francisco Lindor with 25 doubles. Eduardo Escobar with 33 of the Twins leads the American League. The Blue Jays got to capitalize on that leadoff double. Bailey drew a walk. He was the first base runner to reach against Matthew Boyd.
Luke has come up with some big hits for the Blue Jays this year. Hitting down in the lineup. Hitting really well with runners in scoring position. He's already set career highs in RBIs with 20.
323 with runners in scoring position this season. Interesting how Boyd is pitching Maley here. Obviously not wanting to hit it to the right side of the infield. He threw him a slow breaking ball. Something that right-handed hitters will generally pull.
Now with 2 strikes, you're just in survive mode. I think if you're Luke, if he throws him that slow breaking ball, try and get a base hit with it.
Maley took a shot to the right side and fouls it out of play.
Yeah, when you get to 2 strikes, you have it in the back of your mind that you're going to still try and advance that runner after the leadoff double, but you're just trying to make contact. You're trying to make contact enough to get the ball into the outfield, try to get a base hit, protect the plate as much as you can. What you don't want to do, I think, as a hitter, especially against a left-hander, a guy who throws a lot of slow stuff, is commit too early. Don't get out there and anticipate where the pitch is going to be. Read it out of his hand. Try to catch it deep in your swing.
Fastball upstairs. Maley strikes out. Big strikeout for Boyd. That's his 6th this afternoon.
At the Honda checkered flag event, the real victory lap is the drive home.
Melendez Diaz. He jumped on the first pitch he saw and flying out to center field. Pilar bouncing off the bag at second. You know, Pilar had a good idea because he was trying to work for a big lead, and he figured that Boyd would throw a breaking ball to Diaz. But he couldn't get a big enough lead. Boyd took a second look at him.
They might put something on now with him bouncing around with a huge lead at second. I would.
Diaz chases one off the plate. But Pilar picked up on the fact that Diaz is a good fastball hitter. Boyd's got a good curveball. And they're probably going to throw him a curveball or two in this at bat. So as a base runner at second, you got to think, okay, maybe I can steal it. Or if it's a breaking ball in the dirt, maybe I can move up.
I think he's thinking about advancing. Oh,
Yeah.
see, they would have had him if they had a pickoff play on.
Yeah, he's got a good feel for it right now. Kevin has 10 steals. He's only been caught once. But after Maley struck out, boy, you get an extra 90 feet, and Boyd, he understands what's going on behind him. Diaz gets a fastball. 1-2 now. On Gardenhire, all 4 of those gentlemen in that picture spent time together in Minnesota. Gardenhire, the manager, Steve Little, Joe Vavra, and Rick Anderson, all on that Twins coaching staff. Inside, 2-2 now.
Looks weird to see them all in a Detroit Tiger uniform, doesn't it, after years in Minnesota?
They were there for a long time.
And successful, too. You know, they didn't have the big payroll teams in Minnesota, but they played the game the right way. And I think that's what Gardy's trying to instill now with this youthful team in Detroit.
Gardenhire, the most wins as a Twins manager. Breaking ball pulled foul. Gardy spent 13 seasons as the skipper of the Twins. And he's just one of 10 managers in baseball history to win 1,000 or more games with a single team. Where they had quite a run there with 2 managers, Tom Kelly and then Ron Gardenhire.
Yeah.
Lots of successful ball clubs. Base hit to left field. Pilar had to hold up. It was a line drive, and there was some question as to whether or not it might be caught. So he moves to third. Diaz picks up another base hit.
Well, you figured that curveball, that slow curveball was coming at some point with 2 strikes to Diaz. He's an excellent fastball hitter. You know, he stayed back on that one long enough to punch it through the left side. Just smart hitting. Pilar's got to hold up just for a second. He's got to freeze. Plus the ball was hit right at Jacoby Jones, who got a great jump on the ball. There's the plate coverage on the slow curveball.
Just a reminder, the Tigers lead the American League in outfield assists. They have some good outfield arms. Here's Devin Travis. Takes the first pitch, strike. In this situation, and Travis's strength is to the right side of the field, but especially in a double play situation, you want to try to hit the ball on the right side. That's a harder double play to turn if it's on the ground.
And I think that's what Jose Iglesias, the shortstop, was telling Nico Goodrum, the second baseman. They're talking about it again right here. He's telling him where to go, where to play, communicating about the hitter. So he's telling him, okay, I want you to go over there and you go there and I'll cover on the steal attempt, that kind of stuff. But you've got to have that kind of communication between your middle infielders.
And Goodrum's making just his 16th start at second base. Dixon Machado has started most of the games at second. And Goodrum starts all over the place. This is his 50th start of the season. 2-1 to Travis, but first there'll be a toss checking in on Diaz. Devin hit a soft liner to the shortstop in the 3rd inning. He lined out. Fly ball down the right side. Pilar's back to tag up. Castellanos won't get there. Pilar went back immediately to tag up on that foul pop.
And if he does catch it, that's a run for the Blue Jays. There was no way Castellanos was going to be able to set himself and get Pilar at the plate. So even on fly balls, 1st and 3rd situation, any ball in the air, you're going back to tag. Foul ball, fair ball, it doesn't matter. Both runners can tag up on a fly ball like that, especially a foul one.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Ground ball through the left side. Candelario had some trouble getting it out of his glove. Pilar comes in to score. Travis out 5-3, but the Blue Jays are on the board for Devin Travis. He picks up an RBI, his 17th of the season.
You know, a couple of things happened on that play right there that was beneficial for the Blue Jays. Diaz, the runner at first base, faked, bluffed like he was running, and then stopped. An infielder sees that and thinks, okay, he's taken off. Then Candelario caught the ball and momentarily couldn't get it out of his glove in time. So there was no play at second base. His only play was over to first base, and the Blue Jays are on the board.
Richie goes after the first pitch. Rangel has grounded out and struck out. He's got a runner in scoring position. Diaz. Off the plate, ball on a strike. Grichuk has 17 RBIs in the month of June. He had 8 prior to this month. On speed pitch in a good spot. Grichuk is now 0 for 5 facing Matt Boyd. Blue Jays are on the board. Swinging a drive left field. Get up, ball. Get up, ball. Get out of here. Gone. Randall Grichuk has tied it up. He's had a heck of of a month. That's his 8th home run in the month of June. And it's a 3-3 game.
And it started against Detroit the month of June, and it looks like it's going to end the month against Detroit. That was a low slider. We were talking last time he was up. You like him up there because he's got some exit velocity when he connects. He's got some pop, and he's starting to swing a hot bat. The slugging percentage has jumped up this month, and with one swing of the bat, just like that, we are all tied.
The Blue Jays did not have a hit through 4 innings. Pilar got it started with a leadoff double. Diaz had a base hit to left, and now Grichuk with the home run.
Watch him let him get that ball right where he likes it. He waited on that slow breaking ball, and he's quick enough to get it out of here.
That's the 9th home run that Boyd has surrendered this season. Grichuk for Randall, it's his 10th homer of the season.
That's some bat speed to be able to turn on that inside pitch like that and drive it as far as he did on a line.
2 hopper to the third baseman, Candelario across the diamond. The inning is over, but the Blue Jays, after not getting a hit in the first 4 innings, get 3 runs on 3 hits and a home run, a 2-run shot by Randall Grichuk, and comes with 2 strikes. Home run back in the 3rd inning, and this season he has been a one-man wrecking crew for the Tigers. His home run was his 100th hit of the season. He's 3rd in the American League in that department, and he's turned into a heck of an offensive player.
Yeah, multi-hit games, 31. That's tied for 4th. 26 doubles. He hit 36 all of last season, so he's increased that to 26, and he's got this fastball down the middle. That's a exit velocity of 107, estimated distance 375, on a line to left field, and that's not where his power is. His power is to right field. So it doesn't matter which part of the diamond. Nicholas Castellanos got some power.
Gaviglio comes right back with a first pitch fastball. May have surprised Castellanos. There are 3 hitters in the American League that have 100 or more hits: Jose Altuve, Gene Segura, and now Nick Castellanos. There's only 1 in the National League. That's Nick Markakis of the Braves. About 2 fastballs from Gaviglio.
What do you think he's looking for?
Sitting on breaking ball.
Something off speed.
This is the conversation we had with Gary Pettis down in Houston. When Pettis is in the dugout, he watches the body language of the hitters and has a sense for what they're looking for.
3 fastballs in a row, and he was ready for that one. You can elevate it now, or you can try and sweep one off the plate.
Yeah, you don't have to throw him a strike right now. He chased that fastball and has to protect with 2 strikes. Took a shot. Used that slider. The home run for Castellanos. His third home run in his last 7 games. He went after it, came right back with the slider and gets the strikeout. Strikeout number 4.
This 4K broadcast is brought to you by the Samsung QLED TV. See nothing else.
Beautiful weekend Saturday here as the Blue Jays are hosting the Tigers for a 4-game series. Day game Sunday and holiday Monday. J. Mark Candelario goes after the first pitch slider. Luke Mailey's doing a nice job of mixing it up so far against the Tigers.
I think he's doing a good job of reading the bats of what the Tigers are trying to do. He had an idea that Castellanos, after that home run on the first pitch fastball, might be looking breaking ball, threw him a couple of fastballs and got ahead of him. Luke's done a good job of catching and navigating through the game.
Luke is making his 34th start of the season. Another slider that missed down. 1-2 to Candelario. Gaviglio started his season in AAA. This is his 8th start for the Blue Jays, his 10th game overall. He appeared twice as a reliever before he made that first start. He and Matt Boyd, as we mentioned earlier, were college teammates at Oregon State. Gaviglio signed after his junior year, 2011. Boyd signed after his senior year. They were teammates for 2010 and 2011. Gaviglio was a heck of a college pitcher. He was a semifinalist for the Golden Spikes Award, which acknowledges the best college baseball player in the country. This is trouble. That's a fair ball all the way down into the corner in right field. Candelario will stop at second base with a 1-out double, his 17th double of the season.
That was an elevated breaking ball right there, and he was waiting for it with 2 strikes. Rips it into the corner.
Think about the sequence of pitches to Candelario. They threw him 2 sliders the first 2 pitches of the at-bat. Down and in, he swung over both of them. I don't like a backdoor breaking ball with 2 strikes to a left-handed hitter. First of all, he's protecting. He's not over aggressive, and that breaking ball just kind of spins out over the plate to the big part of the bat.
He is hitting 148 with 2 strikes this year. That would have been a great time to throw one off the plate.
Victor Martinez hits it to third. Solarte bobbles it, and it's going to be an error. Now, Neves Solarte will be charged with his 3rd error of the season. That was a routine ground ball. He had plenty of time. Martinez doesn't run well at all.
He just got a little ahead of himself and a little bit too quick. He pulled the glove up before the ball was in the pocket. Gets in front of it. It's right at him. He knows he's got time. Watch the glove. He pulls it up and he pulls his head up to see where the runner was. No need to worry about the runner at second base, and that's going to cost him.
Well, you're right. He was looking at Candelario at second, took his eye off the ball, and it cost him an error, his 3rd of the season. Nico Goodwin hits one off the mound. He'll get the run at second. I don't know if Gaviglio got hit by that or if it skipped right off the rubber, but it went through his legs and bounced high in the air. Travis was able to get the force out at second, and that's it.
Fortunately for the Blue Jays, it hit something, or that one was heading to center field. He hits it hard. I think it hit the pitching rubber. It went right under his glove, right between his legs, hit the pitching rubber, Bounces right to Travis. That's a split change.
Looked like it hit in the landing spot. That little hole where the pitchers create when they hit that front side of the mound and bounced up in the air. They're fortunate that they were able to get it out on that.
Right there. And that's where Sam places his foot. I mean, anywhere else, and that thing is into center field for an RBI single.
Two outs, runners at the corners. John Hicks. He homered on a slider his first time up, and he drew a walk in the fourth. It's a 3-3 ball game. That's a good slider, and when they get that ball in that spot to Hicks, he'll chase it.
Yeah, he's got a high chase rate. So if you make a good pitch, you can get him out.
Guerrero had second thoughts after he came to the set position, stepped off the rubber, and the bullpen is up. Biagini on the left. Jake Petrichka just been added to the roster. This is the third time he has been called up from AAA. Ryan Tepera was placed on the disabled list this morning. There's that slider. He just can't help himself.
It starts on the plate and then goes off the plate.
The home run he hit was a 3-2 slider, but it was a hanger that stayed on the inner half. One and two. That one's too far outside. Guerrero, just in case Woodrum was thinking about running, held the ball for a long time and kind of froze out Woodrum at first. Nico's got 6 steals. He's only been caught one time.
If you go, you better have a sign to the hitter to let him know. That can be very distracting if you're not expecting that runner to go.
Not running. Another pitch outside. It's a full count. Hicks homered with 2 outs and a full count in the second. Grayson Griner, the catcher, is on deck if Hicks can reach base. Goodrum will be moving on the pitch. There he goes. Cut on and missed. Hicks strikes out. Chased 3 sliders off the plate for a strikeout. The air does not hurt the Blue Jays.
Ballpark app today. Buck, an update on Jaime Garcia, who's on the DL with left shoulder inflammation. He saw Dr. Robert Thompson in St. Louis and had an injection to help alleviate cramping symptoms in that shoulder. Garcia has since reported to Dunedin and has officially begun his rehab. No timetable, of course, for his return.
Jaime Garcia played for the Cardinals, and that's the doctor he has dealt with in the past, so he went back to have a checkup, and he is on his way to Florida, and that's good news that he'll start a rehab.
I'm sure he'll start a nice little throwing program and get that shoulder back to where he needs to get back out on the mound. In the meantime, Ryan Borucki will probably get the start on Tuesday.
And Elvis Solarte makes the first pitch downstairs. Solarte is 0 for 1 with a walk. It's a 3-3 ball game. Matt Boyd has allowed 3 runs on 3 hits. Sam Gaviglio has allowed 3 runs on 4 hits. Off speed pitch, and Solarte was way out in front. Boyd in his last 2 games combined to go a total of 7 innings. Gave up 11 earned runs in those 2 starts. Just a little flare that's going to drop in center field. Nobody's going to get it. Solarte with a bloop leadoff single here in the 6th. It's not how hard you hit him, it's where you hit him.
And he hit it in a good spot. Watch Nico Goodrum, the second baseman, the range that he has at second. He almost ran this thing down. You can see why the Tigers like their addition from Minnesota. I didn't think he had any chance to get that ball.
Yeah, he made it close, but it's still a leadoff base hit. Kendrys Morales has struck out twice against Boyd. Another move to first. Tigers think something's up with Solarte. He does not have a stolen base. He was caught the only attempt he's made this season. And he's not a fast runner.
And this isn't a good combination for a hit and run at all. But they figure something was up. A couple of throws over to first base.
Off the plate. Ball 1.
I know if I'm managing and I've got a hitter up there who in his career has hit 600 against that pitcher, I'm not putting the hit and run on. I'm going to let him pick one out and do some damage.
Three ball game. The Blue Jays, as we mentioned earlier, have won 9 of their last 10 home games. They're a game over 500. Playing at home 21-20. Good take. 3-0.
He's got him right where he wants him. Blue Jays have hit, I believe, it's 6 3-0 home runs this year. And he had a cut. Whew.
That was a good swing.
Oh, he had a 3-0 cut. I think Kendrys has one of those 3-0 home runs this season, and he was thinking about it. Watch this. Measures that fastball over the middle, and he has a healthy swing at it.
Strike 2. Changeup in there for a strike 2. He strikes out for a 3rd time. Quite a pitcher's duel here this afternoon, and it's a couple of college teammates. Sam Gaviglio and Matt Boyd were teammates at Oregon State. There they are in their Beavers uniforms.
2010, 2011, they were teammates both those years. Then Gaviglio was drafted by the Cardinals. I was watching them before the ball game today. Their paths were crossing each other when they were warming up in the outfield, but it looked like they wanted to have their game faces on. They wanted to say something to each other, but they didn't want to look up. They were thinking about today's game.
Pitching coach Rick Anderson is out to talk. Sam Gaviglio was a freshman All-American. He was 10-1 his freshman year with a 273 earned run average. And then his sophomore season, he injured his hamstring. But his junior year, he started the season out with 41 2/3 scoreless innings. He was 12-2 as a junior with a 187 earned run average. That's a heck of a year in college with that aluminum bat.
Yeah, out there.
After his junior year, he was drafted by the Cardinals.
What a nice program they've put together at Oregon State.
Some of the players that have played at Oregon State: Darwin Barney, who was with the Blue Jays; Stephen Piscotty of the A's;
Michael Conforto.
Jacoby Ellsbury played
Jacoby Ellsbury.
He played at Oregon
That's
State
right.
as well. So yeah, they've had some great players out there. Oh, 0-2 to Smoke. Slow breaking ball outside.
So some bragging rights on the line this afternoon. And wouldn't you know it, 3 runs on 4 hits for each team.
Foul back. Ground ball, fair ball. Candelario second for 1, back to first. Nice double play. Good turn at second by Nico Goodrum. The Blue Jays go quietly in the bottom of the 6th.
Fans will receive this J-Half bobblehead presented by Honda. Then watch your Blue Jays host the Detroit Tigers at 1:07 p.m. Eastern. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Great giveaway on Holiday Monday, a J-Half bobblehead dog. Rick Anderson, the pitching coach, having a chat with Matt Boyd. That might indicate the end of the line for Boyd. Anderson went out and had a mound visit and helped Boyd get through that 6th inning. Gave up a leadoff single, got a strikeout and a double play. Grayson Griner, the catcher. He's gone 0 for 2 so far. Sam Gaviglio, 83 pitches as he works here in the 7th. Both he and Matt Boyd have been very efficient.
Yep, very efficient, very good. His slider, I think, has been great. He's made one mistake with it today. That was the home run to Hicks. But the slider, for the most part, against these right-handed batters, have been in a good place, down and away. They haven't had a chance to do much with it.
Boy, that got both the catcher and the umpire. Jerry Davis, the veteran crew chief behind home plate. The ball bounced off Bailey's mask and caught Jerry Davis.
You ever have an umpire say, hey, you got to catch that ball?
Oh, yeah.
To you?
All the time. Especially when they get hit.
That's what I mean. You know, that's an impossible ball to catch.
Leadoff walk. Quick timeout now for Marvel Studios. Ant-Man and the Wasp.
There is another person I can think of.
Maybe I'm doing it wrong.
Gaviglio walks the leadoff man here in the 7th. Third walk by Sam as he has struck out 5. Shortstop Jose Iglesias. He singled up the middle and scored on the home run by Castellanos. Joe Biagini is up for a second time. He is ready, standing by if needed.
Tigers have been very aggressive the first 2 games now. Iglesias can really handle that bat. He took a shot to right field on that last swing.
Well, he did a great job of shuffling his feet. You don't see hitters do this an awful lot, but he shuffles his feet. Watch how he gets his feet behind him and is just trying to hit that hole on the right side.
Him looking at that runner at first base. Maybe they missed a sign, like they were trying to put the hit and run on. This is a great guy to put the hit and run on with.
He doesn't miss too many balls he swings at.
Dave Clark, the third base coach, coming down that line, going through all kind of signs for both the base runner and that hitter in case they want to try and do something here.
2 balls and a strike. There goes the runner. Hit and run is on. Breaking ball down and away, and another strike by Maile. Luke Maile catches his second base runner this afternoon. He threw out Candelario in the first, and now he gets the catcher on a hit and run.
Yeah, and it's a hit and run, and they throw a slider. Watch where this pitch is, down and away, and Maile just comes up firing. You had to figure something was up with the Tigers. They had the great hit and run player at the plate. He comes up empty, and Griner doesn't have a chance.
3-2 now. That slider miss. Maile has thrown very well all season long. Fastball just off the plate, but with 2 strikes, Iglesias had to protect.
He has had 276 at bats. 276. He struck out 12 times. He is tough to fan.
fly ball. Pilar coming in, still coming in. He gets there, makes the catch, 2 away.
Check out the Beauty Tone Paint event on now through July 3rd, only at Home Hardware. Here's how.
Beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Toronto. We're just a few blocks away from Lake Ontario, and there's a lot of activity down at the marina. Jacoby Jones, number 9 hitter, takes a strike. Gaviglio, boy, he has really bounced back. He had 3 straight short outings. 3 1/3, 4 2/3. His best start was against the Yankees on the 6th of June. He lost that game 3-0.
Yeah, he picked up a no decision in that game. 7 shutout innings. That's the last time and only time this year that he has thrown 7 innings. Trying to do it again if he can get 1 more out.
He should have it now. Pilar is there, and Jones flies out. So 7 in the books for Gaviglio. Second time he's thrown 7 innings this season for the Blue Jays. It's a 3-3 ball game. Partner destinations around the globe. Join today at westjet.com/rewards. Matt Boyd out of the ball game. 6 strong innings. Boyd threw 87 pitches. He allowed 3 runs on 4 hits. Randall Grichuk with a 2-run home run in the 5th. That tied it, but he was good this afternoon.
I think that's the only pitch he would like to have back. It was a slider that stayed over the middle of the plate that tied up the ball game. So a no decision for Matt Boyd, and Alex Wilson takes over for the Tigers here in the 7th. He's 0-3 with a .411 earned run average. He came over from the Boston Red Sox in the Rick Porcello trade 4 seasons ago. Hard throwing right heat, sinker slider. That's basically what you're going to get from him.
He was on the disabled list. He was reactivated on June 7th. He was dealing with plantar fasciitis. He misses with the first pitch to Pilar. Kevin got the first hit of the ball game for the Blue Jays, a leadoff double in the 5th inning. And we have time now. It looks like there's a beach ball that has dropped onto the field. Very appropriately colored for this Canada Day weekend. Blue Jays have 4 hits, as do the Tigers. That's been it. The only difference in their line score is the Blue Jays have committed 1 error. That error did not factor in. It was committed by Solarte, the third baseman. Pilar gets jammed. Wilson knocks it down, stays with it, and Pilar is out. 1-3 on the putout.
He'll throw his share of fastballs, Alex Wilson, so you got to gear up for it. That time he ran it right in on the hands of Kevin Pilar. Always liked his arm. He's got a good arm.
Got kind of a short arm delivery, and that ball will get on you quickly. He can give you multiple innings. Luke Maley has walked and struck out. It's this hard to center field, but Martinez retreats and makes the catch.
Super Slow-Mo Cam. Brought to you by Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus. The camera reimagined. Available now.
Alex Wilson gets 2 quick outs here in his first inning of work. Miss Diaz takes the first pitch. He has not faced Wilson before. A cutter misses down and away. It's 1-1. The Blue Jays have won 11 of their last 13 games against the Tigers here at Rogers Center. Fly ball deep to right field, and Castellanos over in the corner makes a running catch. Diaz hit it a long way, but it's the 3rd out of the inning. Wilson 3 up, 3 down. We'll go to the 8th. It's a 3-3 game. Blue Jays baseball partnership. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays baseball partnership. Sam Gaviglio, for the 2nd time this season, pitches 7 innings, 97 pitches over the 7 innings. He gave up 2 home runs, but he leaves with the score tied 3-3.
You know, and just like Matt Boyd would like to have the pitch to Randall Grichuk back, I think Sam would like to have the pitch back to Nicholas Castellanos, who hit the 2-run home run. That's why we are tied 3-3. So Joe Biagini, for the 19th time, comes in, and he has been throwing much better of late. 4 of his last 6 relief appearances have been more than 1 inning. His fastball command has been back since they pushed him back into the bullpen. He has thrown zeros up in his last 5 relief appearances. And he looks like the pitcher we saw a couple of years ago coming out of the pen for the Blue Jays. Lots of strikes, get in, get out. You don't have to throw 4 different pitches, just fastball, breaking ball, throw a cutter every now and then. He's had success. Pitched twice in Los Angeles on the last road trip, twice in Houston, didn't give up a run.
Leonis Martin, the leadoff man. 0-1. Line drive into center. That's going to get down for a base hit. Pilar will play it on a big hop. Leadoff single for Martin, his first hit of the afternoon.
Outfielders playing a little bit deeper now that we're into the 8th inning of a tie score. It's a changeup down and away. Hits it a little bit off the end of the bat. Pilar thought about for a step or two. He thought about trying to come in, but then thought wisely and backed up. Played it on a bounce.
Biagini starting to settle into this relief role. Over his last 5 outings, he's pitched a total of 6 2/3. He's given up no runs on 7 hits. Castellanos. Pretty good pitch just off the outside edge.
Yeah, and Joe might become a very important guy for the Blue Jays now that Ryan Tepera went on the disabled list this morning.
Tepera on the DL with elbow issues. Jake Petrichka has taken Tepera's place on the roster. But you're right, Biagini might be asked to pitch more significant innings as he's doing right here in the 8th inning of this 3-3 game.
And facing the best the Tigers have to offer. When you come in and the leadoff batter and then Castellanos, dangerous hitter at the plate.
Chopper up the third base line. This is going to be a base hit. So Castellanos has hit a home run, and now he has a swinging bunt. He's 2 for 4, but back-to-back hits for the Tigers here in the 8th.
Nothing you can do about that if you're Joe Biagini. You make a good pitch to a good hitter, and he dribbles it up the third base line. Joe thought about going there and says, you know what, no one's going to make this play. Just pick it up when it stops rolling. Solarte is playing deep, so he's got no chance to come in and make this play.
Boy, that was a good sinking fastball. Castellanos just barely got a piece of it, but he picks up his second hit. So Jeimer Candelario.
Be careful on the first pitch. Hit a home run on the first pitch in last night's ball game.
Off Stroman to the opposite field. There he drops that curveball in there. Candelario hit a double his last time up. Gaviglio tried to throw him a backdoor slider, and he ripped it for a double. Fastball, he's late on it. John Axford starting to loosen up for the Blue Jays. Biagini is ahead of Candelario. Remember how Candelario hit that double on a 2-strike pitch that was away from him.
Yanked it in the corner. Biagini can throw a share of ground balls.
Curveball in the dirt.
When he's right and that ball's moving, he'll get a lot of ground balls, and that's what the Blue Jays need here.
Blue Jays have not turned a double play here this afternoon. They have hit into 1 double play. Jays turned 2 double plays in last night's game with Stroman on the mound. We're in the 8th inning of a 3-3 game. in the dirt. 2-2 now. Pete Walker and John Gibbons obviously talking about reshuffling the roles down in that bullpen without Tepera. Seduano is really throwing the ball well lately. A lot of strikeouts.
Yeah, everybody's got to move up a notch, if you will, with Tepera out, who was closing. So he can go between Clippard, who can close, and maybe They both have experience doing that.
Fly ball, not deep. Here comes Pilar. He calls for it, and he'll make the catch in shallow center field.
So that's why Biagini becomes very important in the 7th and the 8th inning. If someone's down and you need somebody to get some outs, he can do it. He's got a tough hitter coming to the plate now for the Tigers.
Martinez hit a ball to the third baseman his last time up, and Yanira Solarte booted it for his 3rd error of the season. But that did not prove costly, as 2 Tigers were stranded. That was in the 6th inning. Fastball upstairs for ball 1.
Blue Jays are playing in the shift, as you can see right there, but if you know Victor Martinez, he can handle the bat. He might take a shot at drilling one to the left side of the infield.
.95, but up and away. And you make a great point, and with that, kind of surprising that the Blue Jays are pitching him away.
Well, they're shifting back now. I think this is the proper defense now. There's Diaz, who has shifted over the other side of second base. This is what Victor Martinez does. He can hit the ball away the other way, and he's just looking for a single right now.
Pretty close pitch, but it's ball 3. Back-to-back singles to start the inning. Martin hit a little looping single into center, and then Castellanos hit a swinging bunt up the third baseline. Neither ball was hit particularly hard. And then Candelario flied out to center field. Ground ball off Biagini. He's got time to get Martinez, and he does. But that looked like a double play ball. Biagini appeared to get it on his right hand. Went down to field it. May have caught him on the right hand. Martin goes to third. Castellanos ends up at second.
And the Tigers catch a break, because look at where Diaz is playing the shortstop. This is tailor-made right to him. And you're right off the pitching hand. No play at second, none at third. He does the next best thing. Picks it up and just lobs it over to first base to get the out.
He knew he had time with Martinez running. So Maley spends a mound visit to make sure they have their thoughts together. Nico Goodwin is over 3. 2 runners in scoring position in this tie ball game. Cutter off the plate inside. Biagini has not allowed a run in his last 5 appearances prior to this game.
Good fastball. That's what's come back. His fastball and his fastball movement. His last time out against Houston 3 days ago might have been his best outing of the season in terms of efficiency. Through an inning, had 11 pitches, including a strikeout. He had a good fastball that day. And that last one to Goodrum was his best fastball this inning.
Fly ball to right field. Grichuk moving over, makes the catch, and Biagini pitches around. Couple of singles to start the inning. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Cliff Floyd in the Samsung broadcast studio. Game here, of course, game 3 of this series. Then the Indians and Athletics tomorrow at 4 Eastern time, 1 Pacific time. Mike Clevenger will go to the hill for Cleveland against Frankie Montas. For Oakland, Cleveland starting to run away from the Central Division. They're the only team in a division over 500. Minnesota Twins are 8 games back. The Tigers 9.5.
They put the pedal to the metal late last year, didn't they? 22, 23
yeah, they won 22 in a row.
Whatever it was crazy. They have the ability to do that again this year.
They certainly don't have any competition in the AL Central. Oakland, they've won 8 of their last 10, including 5 in a row. They're a pretty interesting young team.
I like that team. I like their bullpen, the Oakland A's. Woo. They got some flamethrowers coming out late in the game.
Alex Wilson retired the side in order in the 7th, his first inning of relief. Devin Travis. Devin drove in the first Blue Jay run in that 3-run inning. He had a ground out to the third baseman. Kevin Pillar came in to score, and Mando Grichuk tied it up with a 2-run home run. That cutter gets away from Wilson. It's 3-1 now. Both managers have gotten what they were looking for from their starters. Matt Boyd went 6 innings, 3 runs on 4 hits, and Ron Gardenhire has been insisting that the starters give them at least 6 innings. And they've been wearing out the bullpen lately, and that'll catch up to you.
I think if you just tell them, hey, I need 6 or 7 from you. I don't care what you do. You're going to wear it. But you got to give me 6 or 7.
Yeah, you're going to stay out there, so it's up to you how many runs you give up. 3-2 to Travis, leading off the bottom of the 8th. Fouls that pitch back. Travis grew up in the Tigers organization. He was acquired by the Blue Jays in a trade that sent Anthony Ghost to Detroit. This is the 4th season for Devin with the Blue Jays. Off the end of the bat. the only season where he played 101 games, his second year, 2016, he hit 300. But he's been dealing with injuries ever since. He had a career-high 11 home runs and a career-high 50 RBIs in 2016.
Getting that playing time that you need to establish yourself and to get into a nice rhythm at the plate. Hitting the ball a little bit more authority lately.
Chopped off the mound over Wilson. Goodrum couldn't find the handle. A leadoff single for Devin Travis. Drive of the game brought to you by the Honda Checkered Flag event. Check out their all-star lineup.
Well, we are tied because of this man at the plate, Randall Grichuk. He started the month of June coming off the disabled list against the Detroit Tigers. He hit a home run. He's going to end the month of June by hitting at least one home run against Detroit. That's his 8th home run this month and 25th hit. It's also this afternoon's drive of the game. Big hit for Grichuk.
Grichuk now batting .213. Check swing foul into the screen. Boy, what a difference in Grichuk. You can see it in his face. The confidence has done a 180.
Yeah, no chance early this season in April. He just looked lost. Just couldn't come up with a hit. New league, new team. You're trying to do something dramatic, and the harder he tried, the worse it got. But since he came off the disabled list, that was at Detroit on June the 1st, took him a couple of games to get ready, but then he had that big game, the 3rd game of that series, 2 for 4, the home run and 3 RBIs, and he hasn't stopped hitting.
This should be a good matchup for Grichuk. Wilson comes at you with a fastball and a hard cutter. He doesn't have any real slow breaking ball that has given Grichuk problems. And despite the fact this is the first time Randall has faced Wilson, I kind of like this matchup.
You like the matchup. The harder the fastball, the better he likes it.
Good take. That cutter down and away. 2-1 now. I don't think you want Grichuk to play hit and run. I think he's swinging the bat so well, you need to allow him to get a good pitch to hit.
Yeah, have faith in him and make sure that he gets a good pitch to hit. I don't think you want forcing it to hit on pitches like that. Though now he has worked himself into a nice fastball count.
Devin Travis with a leadoff infield single. He's at first. Bottom of the 8th inning. Three and one. Ground ball. Two Hopper to third. Candelaria will go across the diamond. Grichuk is out. But Travis moves into scoring position.
Blue Jays scored in 1 run, or excuse me, 1 inning last night and made it stand up. There's O starting to get loose for the Blue Jays down in the pen. They've scored in 1 inning again this afternoon. So if they're going to win, they're going to have to figure out a way to get that runner in from second base.
Teoscar Hernandez. First pitch breaking ball for a strike. Teoscar, a couple of strikeouts and a ground out so far. Wilson has not had a lot of fun pitching in this ballpark. This is his 7th career appearance. He's pitched a total of 4 1/3 prior to this afternoon. He's given up 5 home runs and a .458 opponent's batting average here at Rogers Center.
You got a home run hitter at the plate, but he's not showing them any fastballs.
Wilson is making his first appearance against the Blue Jays. Remember, he was on the DL the last time these two teams met. We're trying, folks. We're trying. Teoscar, he'll give you something to work with. Got to lay off that pitch. You can see where they're working Hernandez. Everything's down and away. I think these numbers with runners in scoring position will improve as Teoscar gains more experience.
Experience to the pitchers and what they're trying to do to them.
Well, that's a good take just off the plate. They are not going to give in to him. Throw him anything inside.
Yeah, go up there, look for a breaking ball. And he's got power the other way. We've seen him a couple of times this year go the other way for home runs. With success in the big leagues, and he's had success with his 13 home runs, comes respect. And they're going to respect you by throwing breaking balls off the plate.
Wilson spins in, forces Travis to dive back into second. Want to point out again that the Tiger outfielders have strong arms. They lead the American League with 18 outfield assists, so Travis is going to have to get the biggest lead he can should there be a base hit here. Right, Teoscar showing a lot of patience. Solarte is behind Hernandez.
He's put breaking ball in his mind, Teoscar. I wouldn't change at all now that you fought back to a 3-2 count.
He walked it. What an at bat for Hernandez. He laid off several close pitches and he works Wilson for the walk.
And what you want to do as a pitcher, you want to pitch away from the power of a power hitter. And right now, that's something away. A lot of breaking balls away from Teoscar Hernandez. Kudos for him for taking it and just working the count. And if he doesn't throw one in there to you, then you just take your walks.
Yeah, it's tough to drive in a run if you don't get any strikes.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. That's out of respect. They understand what a good young hitter you are, so that's part of growing up as a hitter. Just take your walks when you need to.
There is Yannervis Solarte. He is 1 for 2 with a walk. Singled in the 6th inning, his last time up. Left-handers have hit .264 against Wilson this season compared to .203. Of course, those numbers coming into this ball game, .203 for the right-handers. So Arte showing good discipline.
Rick Anderson, this worked for him earlier in the ball game, that he came out there in a tough situation, and now the trainer's going to follow him out there.
Yeah, and that's never a good sign. So Wilson, now Jerry Davis, the crew chief. A medical visit to the mound, and the trainer is out there, and Wilson didn't show any signs of an apparent injury on a particular pitch, but there's something physically going on with him.
You mentioned the plantar fasciitis, and it looked like they were pointing down to his foot, and he's limping.
Yeah, he was on the DL with plantar fasciitis, and he's out of the ball game now, so maybe it's a flare-up of the same situation. He will leave with a 2-ball and no strike count. The Blue Jays have runners at first and third. New pitcher into the game, Jimenez. "23 years old, and he's from Puerto Rico, and he's having a heck of a year."
Yeah, they really like him. He's listed at 6'3", 225 pounds. He was a non-drafted free agent June of 2013. And he's young. A young guy, just 23 years old. He's got a big arm, and he's figured out the strike zone. He's only walked 9 batters this year to go along with 43 strikeouts. And because of the injury to Alex Wilson, he'll have plenty of time to get ready. But a big arm, fastball slider. That's what you're going to get from Jimenez.
He pitched for Puerto Rico in the 2017 World Baseball Classic. That's the team that lost to Team USA in the final. Now Wilson, who retired all 3 batters in the first inning aboard in the 7th. Take a look at his landing here, and you can see he kind of collapsed after delivering that ball 4 pitch to Hernandez. And here's another pitch, and again you can see that left leg, he was flexing it around as if it was bothering him. That's his landing leg.
So you get him out. He's had some problems with his foot, so Jimenez in now. He will take over on a 2-0 count.
Solarte goes after that first pitch and hits it right next door. 2-1 now.
Solarte knows he's got a big fastball. He has reached 98 with that heater, but it's straight. If you get one, make sure it's over the plate.
Jimenez making his second appearance against the Blue Jays. He worked an inning. There's a base hit at center field. Travis got a good read. Here's the throw to the plate from Martin. It's a good throw, and Travis is out. Leonis Martin, with his 9th outfield assist, throws a strike to nail Devin Travis at the plate. This outfield, they all throw well. And Martin cut down the go-ahead run with a terrific throw from center.
When it left the bat, I didn't think he had a chance to get him. Off the end of the bat, so it wasn't hit that hard. He breaks right away, but it's a one-hopper right to Martin. Look at the strength of his arm and the accuracy of that throw right on the plate. Devin gets the go, and no chance at the plate.
Boy, that's a nice throw for a catcher to receive. A one-hop strike from Martin. As we mentioned, his 9th outfield assist. The 19th for the Tigers. That gives them 2 more than the Orioles. They lead the American League in that department. Castellanos threw out a base runner at 3rd in last night's game. Hernandez at 3rd, Solarte at 1st.
You know, he caught that deep in center field, but what helped him out, he didn't have to deal with the mound. It's off into left center field. The mound, you don't have to deal with that. You throw it right off the turf right to the catcher.
Two balls and a strike to Kendrys Morales. Morales has struck out 3 times so far this afternoon. And he's in a 2-2 count now with 2 outs. Off the plate, and Solarte will steal second. Nobody covered, and Jimenez thought it was strike 3. But now there are 2 runners in scoring position and a full count on Morales.
It looked like Solarte was trying to draw a throw from the catcher, but the Tigers weren't going to fall for that. Picks up the stolen base.
Morales strikes out for a 4th time. The Blue Jays get a base hit, but a runner is thrown out at the plate and will go to the 9th. It's a 3-3 game.
The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. Hurry in to grab the Civic that matches your game.
Saturday afternoon in Toronto, the roof is closed. It is warm outside, but it is very comfortable inside. And here comes the new Blue Jays pitcher, Sun-Won Oh, to start the top of the 9th.
He pitched in last night's game, had 3 strikeouts to run that total of 45 this season, to go along with just 10 walks. Look at the strikeouts per 9 innings. He's averaging over a strikeout an inning, and the only blemish on his record over his last 11 appearances for the Blue Jays was the home run he gave up to Luis Balbuena. That's the only run he's given up over his last 11 outings. Been throwing the ball really well.
This will be his 14th appearance in the month of June. That will tie him with Jose Alvarez, the left-hander of the Angels, for the most games appeared in the month of June. But he seems to have really come around. He has 17 strikeouts in 12 innings this month.
Ride the hot hand, and that's what John Gibbons has been doing this month. Back-to-back days now for O. He pitched back-to-back days on the 24th and 25th in LA and Houston and was very effective.
Slider on the ground. Diaz waits for it, takes his time. 1 out. Hicks grounds up.
Slider's been good.
Boy, it has, hasn't it?
The break has been better. It's been a little bit sharper, but more importantly, I think for him, he's been throwing it in a good spot. He was getting beat earlier with it. Now he's getting outs with it.
This is the catcher, Grayson Greiner. Broken bat. That's going to drop for a base hit. Greiner with his first hit of the afternoon. He's 1 for 3.
Good slider again from O. Puts it in a good spot. Breaks his bat. Just hits it right off the end of the bat. Nothing you can do about that. That's how you want to throw a slider, down and away.
You can see it was hit right off the end of the bat. Victor Reyes comes off the bench to pinch run for the catcher, Greiner. Iglesias fouls back the first pitch. Reyes is 5 for 5 in steal attempts. He's a rookie with good speed. We just got a report that Alex Wilson left the game with left calf tightness. Iglesias taking another shot at that hole on the right side of the infield. He's got a game plan.
Yeah, he knows what he wants to do, and he can handle that bat. You can see, look at the real estate he has to shoot for through the right side of the infield. It'll also send that runner to third base if he's successful.
Line drive to right. Grichuk coming on, makes the catch. The throw to first, not in time. Iglesias, he tipped his hand, and that was certainly the red flag for Grichuk, who got a good break on that liner.
Yeah, maybe he came in a few steps after he saw that he was trying to shoot the ball the other way, and I'll tell you what, he got a great jump on that. I thought this was down, but watch the read right off the bat. He's played a good right field.
That's off the glove of Maley, and Reyes, he had a chance to move up, but didn't react very well. Jacoby Jones, the batter.
Let's watch him over at first base. You're right, he was stopped. With that speed, got to take a chance.
Big cut by Jones. Ball on his strike to the number 9 hitter. Jones was robbed of a base hit on a nice defensive play by the shortstop, Biagini Diaz, in the 5th inning. Ball to strike 2.
They've been very aggressive today, the Tigers, but it's backfired on them a couple times. Luke Maley's thrown out a couple of base runners trying to steal.
2-2. Foul back. Maley threw out. Excuse me, he threw out Candelario in the 1st inning. And got Greiner on what was a hit and run attempt. That was in the 7th. Two balls and 2 strikes on Jacoby Jones. He stays alive and pulls that one foul.
Doesn't throw a lot of curveballs, but that was one right there that stayed over the middle of the plate. He has had closing experience. He's done it for the 1 year in St. Louis.
He went around and strikes out. Another strikeout for O. It gives up a single and nothing more. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. It'll be Smoke, Kevin Pillar, and Luke Bailey in this 3-3 game. Today, Jay Happ will go to the mound. The festivities begin at 12:30. That's the pregame show. That's 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. Jay Happ will look for his 11th win of the season, and there's a lot of pregame festivities celebrating Canada Day, so make sure you join us for all of them. Tune in tomorrow, 12:30. It all starts with the pregame show. Jamie Campbell, Joe Siddle, and Cliff Floyd will start things off on Canada Day. James McCann takes over behind the plate for Detroit as Griner was lifted for the pinch runner. Smoke high and deep. Get up, ball. Get up. Get out of here. Down. Smoke walks off the Tigers.
Yourself into a fastball count against a fastball pitcher, get it ready. And that's just what Smokey did. 1-0 fastball, and the Blue Jays have another walk-off.
The Blue Jays have their 6th walk-off win of the season, thanks to Justin Smoke, who has homered in the first 2 games of this 4-game series. For Smoke, his 3rd home run against the Tigers this season, and the Blue Jays win it 4-3.
Been hitting the ball hard all afternoon. Was Smoke, didn't have anything to show for it, but then picked on that 1-0 fastball, and he got every bit of it.
Home run number 11 for Smoke, and the Blue Jays score 3 in the 5th and get another run in the bottom of the 9th.
10 home runs coming into this game. Jimenez with that fastball, and it's a good one. But Justin Smoke was waiting for it. Especially 1-0. You can sell out and look for that heater over the middle of the plate to watch how far this ball goes. There was no doubt about it that this one was going to end the game. Blue Jays were down and came roaring back in that 5th inning with 3 runs, highlighted by the home run by Grichuk, and win it in the bottom of the 9th after 2 pitches from Jimenez. He knows.
Well, let's check in with Hazel, who's standing by with Justin Smoke.
Buck, thank you very much. His first complaint, by the way, is why I didn't get drenched with him with the Powerade. Congratulations, Justin Smoke, as you receive congratulations for the rest of your teammates who are out in the bullpen. Tell me about that approach. I mean, you guys have now 6 walk-off victories this season. Tell me how you got it done this afternoon.
Well, I mean, we faced Boyd. Boyd was tough today, and, you know, Grichuk came up big with a homer there, and tie game right there in the 9th, and guy was challenging, you know, Morales and Solarte with fastball, so I was up there dead red on a heater, and I got one.
Justin, you're starting to heat up. We're seeing the Justin Smoke from last season. What has been the difference for you? I know you were off to a bit of a slow start early to start the year. What has been working for you?
Just see the ball and hit the ball. I don't know. Just trying to get in the rhythm and timing of things, and I feel like it's been better as of late. Just got to keep it going.
You now have, you as in the Blue Jays, now have 10 home victories this season, the best winning percentage in all of baseball since June 7th. What do you like about hitting in front of Blue Jays fans?
Oh, it's just fun playing here. I mean, the fans come out, they show up, and yeah, it's fun playing here. It's exciting, and you know, to win a ball game like that's always fun.
All right, Justin Smoke, congratulations. We will see you tomorrow. Go and get dried up. Okay, Buck, let's send it back to you.
Thank you very much, Hazel, for Justin Smoke. His 2nd career walk-off home run, his first since May 2016. Thanks for watching, folks. Here's Blue Jay Central with Jamie, Joe, and Cliff.